Muhyiddin Mohammed attempted it. What about that?
Also. Okay.
Just 2 people out of 20 people that online. Okay, 3 people, Ibrahim. Bob. Khadija said, okay. I think that was the time. So let me insert control and use it to draw. And then select print script, which is the name of the macro that we wrote yesterday. And you can rename this edit text. And then if you click on the button, it should be working. Still looking if there is a way I can share the material. I don't think there's a way to share file.
Hopefully at this point people are getting the message, because as we've heard, the next 2 weeks could be horrendous for people.
So if you can see my screen, I don't know if admin, is there a way we can share this? We can share this file. It's just a sheet. I don't know. Or if you can duplicate, if you can see my screen and then duplicate this sheet. I think that would be easier. It's just one sheet. This is everything I have for the introduction to financial modeling. I'm not on I'm not on MMC Telegram. I'm not on I'm only on the WhatsApp. That's the WhatsApp. Okay. Let's go.
took parish and a team of weapons.
Okay, so I've shared it to the MMC WhatsApp. You have access to it. And by the way, I'm only on MMC 1. So if you're on MMC 1, the file to other MMC groups or the Telegram if you're on the Telegram. Does everybody have the file now?
I'm saying fine. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Saidat. Can you please share your screen so that we can quickly type it?
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Saidat, please can you share your screen so we can type it?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I was saying that. Okay, I'll share it. I think I was on. Is Umani on the call? Hi, Umani.
Hello, I'm with you. I'm trying to send it to the group.
Okay. And I sent you another PDF out.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Who connect? They want to share the material.
Does everybody have access to the camera?
Yes, we have it.
Someone, can someone please drop it on the Telegram page, please? It's not.
Massive, you're listening.
That's a very classic. Nice.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much. We now have it on the Telegram page.
so since does everybody have access to it, both the WhatsApp, Telegram? I see that people have it on Telegram page. What about WhatsApp?
Thanks, I have it on WhatsApp now.
Okay. Okay, I also hope that everybody has this file that you can see on my system. It's just a quick write-up on financial modeling techniques, introduction to financial modeling. And inshallah, if we have a more robust financial modeling class, we will delve into it. And but this will just be a surface scratch. Will just be a little introduction to what financial modeling is and what you can use. Okay, so what's the? I'm very sure everybody that every financial modeling this, financial modeling that. You don't know financial modeling. There are a lot of myths about it. But financial modeling, in a nutshell, is just a tool, an Excel-based tool that is designed to reflect or to represent a financial transaction in real life. So let me give you an example. If I'm trying to start a new business and I want to know whether this business that I want to engage in would be profitable or would produce a certain level of return that I'm expecting. I don't need to start the business before knowing whether, to a relative extent, not 100%, whether this business will be profitable or not. So in order to do that, I would need to build a financial model to say, okay, the finance part of this business, how is it going to generate income? What are the expenses that I would incur? What are the fixed assets that I will need to buy? What is the capital that will need to be raised? What is the cost of capital? If I don't have enough capital, how much of debt will I be willing to? Would I have to take? How much? What's the return on interest? The interest that will be on that debt? Would my business be able to that? Would my business be able to cover that interest that I'll be paying, probably monthly, quarterly? Those are just a lot of, certain things that you want to know. And by the time you put all of this into the book, you'll be able to some reasonable extent that I hope everybody can hear me. What are you saying? Can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? So to some reasonable extent, you'll be able to determine whether this business is worth putting your money into or not. Or angel investors that want to invest into your business, the first thing they'll be asking you is, let me see your financial projections. What is it going to be like if I want to put my money into this business? What is the return that I'll be expecting? So it's more like the lifeblood of any business. If whether you want to, even for existing business, whether you want to start a new business or an existing business. I know I've used a number of financial models for existing businesses that have been in operations over time. And the reason why they would need a financial model is, although they are not just starting their business, they've had the business for quite a number of years. They want to see the continuity of this business. What is it that we are doing wrong? They want to plan, okay, if we are into, say, 5 different types of business, they want to be able to see which of these business in the nearest future, in the foreseeable future, would we need to stop or should we expand? Should we? And at the end of the day, maybe after a year, if they have a financial model in place that will serve as their budget, they're able to compare to see the variance. Okay, for this business, we said we will do, say, 30% ROI. At the end of the year, what are we doing and can we compare? So there are a lot of advantages that are into being able to build a financial model. And I tell you that is one of the core requirements for any finance person, especially in the industry of today. Whether you are in investment banking, whether you are in advisory or accounting, you need these skills of financial model. And I hope that you will take a bit of time to go through this. I may not be able to read line by line. Not a lot, probably just one page. So at your spare time, please go through it. And I hope that it will serve as an eye-opener to financial modeling world. Okay. Okay, so financial modeling practices, what is the right way to do it? In order to build a financial model, you have to understand what type of financial model you're trying to build. Is it a greenfield financial model for an existing business? Greenfield meaning is this financial model going to be for a new business, that a business that has developed for a day done operation of that business? They've never produced, they don't even know what they are going to meet on the field. Probably just have industry knowledge, or but they don't really, they've not started production, they've not started business, they've not done anything. So if I'm building that type of financial model for an existing business that's already in the market, that probably has the market share, that has historical financial statement, and so you have to also take into recognition the complexity of the model that you would need to build. Do you want to be very robust or high level? Also, if it's probably a business that, okay, we just want to just present in-house. I mean, these people already know what this business is all about. So you might just do a high level. But if you need it to, probably you need to submit it for review, or you need for angel investors, so you might need it to be more granular than if it was just in-house. So for any business, one of the best practices is to start from your input sheet to calculation and output. You know, in finance, you have your financial statement. That is the output. Or at the end of the day, you probably want to see your income statement, your cash flow, and your balance sheet. So from that, you'll be able to do your valuation, time. But the basic thing is the financial statement, which is your output. That's what we call the output sheet or pages: the income statement, the cash flow statement, and the balance sheet statement. The calculations are calculation sheets that we call in accounting ledgers. Maybe your revenue, your operating expenses, your direct costs, depreciation, your capital expenditure, which is like your fixed assets register, your fixed assets ledger. And so those are your calculations. Those are the things that would flow into that you to prepare your income statement, your cash flow, and your balance sheet. And the assumptions on which those calculation sheets would be made on, we have a special sheet for that, usually called the input sheet. So you start from the input sheet that will flow to the calculation sheet and the output sheet. Also, we usually color code our sheet. So the sheet you use for your input sheet will probably be different from the calculation sheet and the output sheet. Also, as much as possible, we try not to put in the if there's any absolute number you want to put into your formula, you have to link it to your input sheet. So if you put in a value into your formula, it's called hard coding, and it's not usually advisable because it makes your model prone to errors. Also, you should adopt the one row formula rule. We start off this might look theoretical for now, but by the time we do one or two examples, you will have an idea of what this is about. Okay, avoid circular referencing. Interesting. Any questions so far? Calculus I'm rushing. This is just a brief introduction to Excel. So that's I'm rushing through the introduction. But if you have any question, please ask so that we trash any concern that you have. Okay, somebody asked what is circular referencing. So a circular referencing is this. If let me just do a quick example. don't know if you are seeing. So I'm giving you a live example of how coding can work. So imagine if I have 3, 4, and 5, right? And I also have equal to, this is equal to 3, 4 plus 4 plus 5, right? So this is 12. That formula that is saying this is equal to, okay, let me use it. So you know this my formula is saying this cell is making it a total of 3 plus 4 plus 5. If I include plus, this we are on G7. If I include plus G7, whether directly or indirectly, I am referencing this particular cell that I am trying to find the value of. If I click enter here, because here I'm doing 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus G7, G7 I'm trying to even arrive at a value for. And I strike enter. I don't know if you can see myself. This is saying there are one or more secular references where a formula refers to its own cell, either directly or indirectly. This might cause them to calculate incorrectly. So I click on OK. You see that it's returning 0. Whereas 3 plus 4 plus 5 is not supposed to be returning 0. But because I've included the particular cell that I'm working on as part of my formula, so it is returning secular reference. I said at the left edge of my screen here, secular references G7. But there are models where you might not do this directly. Maybe you had something like this. This is equal to 12, and I'm doing equal to. This is equal to 12. Let me see. I'm trying to actually do something. Equal to 12 divided by. Let me make this 4 equal to h. Yeah. So you might look at it. This is what I'm doing. Here that we had 4 before, I'm referencing it to H2, right? H8, cell H8 here. And inside my cell H8, in order to get cell H8, I'm doing it is equal to 3. Sorry. Is equal to cell G7. It's a return secular reference. Let me do that again. So I have 3 equal to whatever I have in cell G8. And this is 4. And this is 5. But and cell G2 is saying that this is equal to the sum of cell E7 plus this one is 8. But remember that cell E8 is equal to cell G8. And I'm also now saying here that in order to get cell G8 is equal to cell, say G8, cell G7 divided by 2. It will return secular referencing. Because although they are not referencing this particular cell E8 directly, they are referring to it indirectly. Because you already said this here that cell G8 is equal to what you have in cell, that your cell E8 is equal to what you have in cell G8. And what you have in cell G8 is equal to what you have in cell G7 divided by 2. But this cell G7 is the sum of cell E7, 8, and 9. Which so there's a form of interrelationship where it is referring to itself in another way. All right. I think I've answered your question. There is another question on that secular reference. So you want me to recap? Please indicate.
And rather than just trying to get your knee to the floor, you want to get your hips in front of you out in front. So more of a sweep like that. Just a drop with your leg. Okay? Got 25 each leg down. And again. You want to sweep forward. You want to concentrate on getting your hips to your back.
Please go on mute if you're not talking.
Lean forward slightly.
Cash and fixed assets.
Good.
Right? And inventory is 500, cash is 200, and your fixed asset is 100.
25.
To these three. So my total asset is the sum of 500 plus 200 plus 800. All right. This is supposed to be fine. So, but in order to get my cash, if my cash is equal to, say, let me say our cash ratio, and my cash ratio is, if my cash here is equal to 800 divided by, say, 4 is 200, which is 200 that is here, right? If for any reason I try to link this 200 to this 200 that is here, it will return a circular effect because I'm trying to, the 800 is made up of 500 plus 200 of cash plus 300. And I'm now saying that my cash is equal to the total asset inclusive of cash divided by 4, which is here. And I'm linking it to this cash, saying this cash is equal to what you have here. This happens a lot of times when people are doing financial because they are trying to link a lot of cells together. So intentionally or not, they usually run into this error. And when you have something like this, it means that this cell here is reflecting its own formula indirectly or directly. So although you are not putting this formula to be equal to the total, but the cash here is the total divided by 4, and you're now referencing this cash that is a subset of the formula to its own, we call it probably like a dependent. So this cell here is depending on this cell, and this cell is depending on this cell. This cash here is also depending on the cash here. So wherever you have that, and it makes your financial model prone to error. Okay. Is there any other question? Or has anybody gotten it? Somebody asked for what outputting is. Okay. Very good question. So in financial modeling, if I'm trying to build my balance sheet and this is total assets, which is made of my inventory, cash, and fixed asset, I am not actually supposed to come here to write equal to put in 500 like we did, and 200, 100. You should not do this. On your output sheet, which is like your balance sheet or your calculation sheet, that is why we usually have an input page, which I will show you a financial modeling that we have, so that all of these things will be clear. And if you put something like this on the face of your financial output, if this is output, like you are putting in the numbers directly, it should be linked to the input sheet. Inventory, cash, and just okay. How do I get my inventory? If my inventory is equal to 500 as an assumption on my input assumption, this probably my assumption, and this is saying 200 and 100. So the least I can do here is to link what is on my output sheet to the assumption. Same thing here, and the same thing here, 100. So here, although it is still 500 that is showing here, it is not, I did not type in 500 into the formula bar. So here, sorry, here I am referencing it to the assumption. So on the assumption sheet, that is where you can now go and change the assumptions, or if you want to tamper with it, so you will not come on the output to come and change this to 500. So the moment where you are putting in the actual numbers into your formula bar on the output sheet, that is called an outputting. Okay, Kudus is asking, what is the difference between a financial modeling and financial statement prepared by an accountant? Okay, I would say that there is a thin difference between a financial model and a financial statement. One of the is that a financial statement is a reflection of what has happened in the past 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. So that is what you have in a financial statement. It is historical. It has happened already. You are only reporting what has happened. But a financial model is most times it's when you say next year or in next month, next 6 months. This is what is characteristic by financial statement. But some people, whenever you are preparing your financial statements, you might use 1 or 2 skills that you have learned in financial modeling to better assist you when you're preparing your financial statement. I know I have. You can build a model that would always prepare your financial statement for you instead of having to do the monotonous work. And probably each month, maybe you have a monthly account that is supposed to be reporting. You can use a financial model, skills from financial model to help you build your financial statement. Okay, I hope I've answered that question. Any other question? Should we move on?
I'm going to all right. I'm in the new.
What is that?
I'm going. 1 minute.
Man.
Okay, can you see my screen? Can anybody see my screen? If you can, please indicate. Or
Yes, we can.
so this is a financial model that I built some time ago, and so we've done all the inputs, but we've not linked. We've linked some of the calculations, but we've not validated all the input assumptions. So this is a financial model, all right? Though it's not 100% complete, but to some extent it's complete, except for some DCF analysis, dashboard, and so on. So one thing that you can first see on my sheet, I have a list of sheets here, is you have the inputs. The inputs color, the color of the input sheet is green. The color of the output sheet is blue, and all these ones are in orange. They are the calculation sheets. So which goes in line with what when I say that they have to be color coded, so that you're able to differentiate at a glance that one set of sheets is different from the other. So if you are not looking at this sheet, you know that okay, the one that is in green is different from what is in blue and the orange sheet. So yeah, my input sheet is what is in green, and I mean, don't mind all this jargon. I'll just explain what I am. So yeah, I have all the assumptions that is going to be feeding the calculation sheet. So it is on this sheet I have the assumptions that I want to be using. All assumptions will be on this sheet. Whether when the model is going to start, the duration of the model, inflation assumptions, timeline of the project, what is going to be the startup cost, because this is a new business, they've not been in operations before. So if they are going to start up the business, what will be the startup cost, the production assumptions. So this is going to be this was going to be for a cassava farm. Production assumptions surrounding farming, then the revenue assumptions, which is broken down into sales revenue, price, volume. I'm trying not to worry. Direct cost assumptions, the operating expenses assumption, staff cost, working capital, which is inventory, receivable, payables, depreciation assumption, your financing. Now it's going to be a mixture of equity is 80%, debt is 20%, and so on. The cost of funds, cost of debt, cost of debt should be the interest. But for equity, there's also a cost attached to equity, or even though it is the owner that is the owner is expecting some level of some rate of return on the business. So that would be, so there is a cost that is attached to using equity, which is usually more expensive than inshallah the I think we'll shed more light to it in a financial modeling proper class. But modeling, all right. So have I think my network chipped off for a minute or two. Yes.
Káàtì dà, pápá tẹ́lẹ̀ àbí wọ́n ń wò. Owó jẹun.
Hello, please, if you are not talking, please go on mute.
Ó bá gbé ráìsì ẹ̀ ńlẹ̀. Wàá jẹ́ later.
Hello, please go on mute. You are distracting us in class. Can everybody hear me? Am I back into the session?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Apologies that I'm talking very fast and I'm trying to quickly rush through this. We don't don't have a lot of time to dwell in, and this is not a proper financial modeling class, but as much as possible, I've tried to brush it on. So as I was saying, so this operation sheet is we are supposed to get, okay, what is the production level? What's the units of production that we are going to get from producing cassava? So you can see here, cassava produce is a function of the number of hectares that you farmed, and the number of stems that you plant per hectare, the natural disasters wages, pest disease wastage, and your tons produced. Cassava price, another production. So that you have. So at the end of the day, we have the tons produced for the cassava itself. We have the raw materials for the cassava price that you get, and then the processing, which is the output of production, processing, which is the output of the cassava raw material that you harvested. You can see a number of tons produced, you have your available raw material, normal processing. A lot of things are here because that are very unique to cassava farming. So most times when you want to build a model, you have to understand the industry that you are trying to build a model for. So it's different from the model you are going to build for a machine production. I have to connect my phone. I think my network is not very strong this morning. Okay, everybody, can you hear me? Am I back? Apologies for the network. network is not very strong, so that's why I'm tripping. I've been tripping on. I think since yesterday. Hello, everyone.
Hi, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so as I was saying, what this operation sheet here is wants to achieve is the number of the volume of production for each type of materials or each type of plants or material type that would be produced from the business. And then the revenue is now going to say, okay, how much are we going to harvest? What is our sales? Which sales is going to be the volume of what you have produced times your price. So depending on the industry you are, they will usually have their own way of calculating the revenue. So what you need to do is to talk to somebody that is an expert in that industry, so you have an idea of how that industry works. And for the direct costs, yeah, you have your raw material, the cost of production, packaging, shipping, energy, gas, maintenance, and all of that costs that would be associated with the business. You also have your capital expenditure, which is going to say, okay, if I want to start this business, what are the types of plants and machinery, land, building that would be needed for this business? So I would outline then when am I going to purchase those materials, and then how is it going to be depreciated? We have a depreciation outline here. And also calculation of the operating expenses that would need for day-to-day running of the business would be outlined there. Staff cost also, that are going to be paying the employees of the business. For debt, I think before I even get to debt, I should talk about source and use. So source and use is going to say, okay, for all the raw material that I'll be needing for the business, what's the total, sorry, not raw material, what's the total fixed asset that I'll be needing for this business? So you would have all the outline of, so here it's supposed to be the use of funds in cultivation, processing, packaging, infrastructure that I need for this business. And then I will have a sum of everything. And if everything is say supposed to be 5 million, so say 5 billion. So this is in thousands, so that's actually as 5 million. But if it's going to be, so it's in thousands, then 5 million in thousand is 5 billion. So what is the ratio of debt and equity that I would need for, in order to raise 5 billion? Is it going to be 20% debt, 80% equity, or 40% debt and 60% equity? So this is where I will do the outline and link it to the input sheet. Then if I'm going to be needing, please pardon my apt coding, if I'm going to be needing 2 million, sorry, 2 million for equity, if I'm going to be able to source 2 million naira from equity and the 60% from debt, so that's about 3 million. So the debt amortization sheet would now outline how I am going to repay. So this is my repayment schedule. So I outline how I'm going to repay the 3 billion naira debt that I have gotten from the bank. So I would outline how I'm going to be paying it as cash flow out of the business, and the interest that would accrue on it. So that is how the debt amortization works. So debt amortization is supposed to just say, okay, if I'm going to get a debt of say 3 billion, how will I pay it over the business life, or over 5 years, or the tenure, as the case may be. So there are some banks that will say, we'll only give you this debt for 3 years. There's some that will say, we'll give you the debt for 10 years. Or if it's going to be available where the business is only for a fixed period of time, say over the period of time. So this is where you outline how you're going to pay the debt amortization is throughout. So for sundry sheets is I was also talking about how to entry, how much inventory adding, receivables, other receivables. So these are just mini calculations that I don't want to create another sheet for. And because you can see inventory is just about 4 or 5 lines, I don't need to create an entirely different sheet for it. Trade receivables, other, so that I'm just lumping them into one sheet and then name this sundry. Sundry is just like miscellaneous. Right? I name it as sundry sheet. Somebody is asking. Okay. Somebody has answered, and I'm also answered it in my explanation. So yeah, I have my output sheet, which is the income statement that will outline how this is my revenue that will be gotten from the revenue sheet. Direct costs will be from the direct cost sheet. My gross profit is the sum of, because my direct costs were already negative, so I can do a sum of the two. I mean, if you are doing sum of the positive or negative number, it will give you a difference between the two numbers, right? So operating expenses, then I usually would use that to get my earnings before interest, taxation, depreciation, and amortization, which finance people usually call EBITDA. It's just an outline of the income statement. And I go to my cash flow. My cash flow statement on the cash flow and my statement of financial position. Then for some people, you might want to have a DCF sheet, which is the discounted cash flow analysis. You might also have a sensitivity analysis sheet. You might also want to have a dashboard sheet. The law of, so that is that I think I've been able to just show you at a glance how a financial model looks like, or what it looks like, right? Okay, so back to our scenario sheet. Yeah, are we all on the same page? Any questions so far? Okay, no question. Kazim Yasiro, I hope we've been able to answer your question. Someone is asking what is the aim of this scenario sheet. Okay, you will see as we go. So I just you will see the reason why we call this scenario. I would explain that in a bit. Okay, so I will move on. So for this business here on the scenario sheet that we'll be trying to model, we are trying to model the income statement of a business. So maybe I don't know if you want to name this a business, probably like MMC shop. All right. I give it this name here. It does not necessarily have to be. So MMC shop, and this is our income statement for MMC shop, and we want to be able to model this. I'm using actual. So let's assume that we are in 2014, or should I just change this date? So let's assume we are in 2014 and want to model the financials from 2015 to 2019. In 2014, MMC was able to make these sales 25 million naira in sales, direct cost of 15 million, the gross profits, OPEX, we have the profit before tax of 5 million, taxation, and so on. So let's say in 2014, because it was a new business in 2014, they did not pay tax for that year. So we want to be able to model what the income statement would look like in the coming period. And on row 15 downward, I've made assumptions for the business. All right. So this, what we have here in 2014 is actual numbers. So this already happened. But we want to now go forward from 2015 to 2019. So can somebody just, so let's assume that what we are selling here is food stuff. And can somebody just give us a basic, if you are presented with this income statement asked to forecast, can you just give us an idea of, say, okay, how do we think the revenue is going to grow? What will be our 2015 revenue? Anybody? Okay. So there are two methods to, okay, somebody said 20% increase. Okay. Yeah. So there are two methods to look at revenue. So you can do a bottom up approach, or you can do a yearly increase approach. So if I might say, okay, since we already made a sales of 25,000 in 2014, let's assume that the revenue in 2014 would grow on a yearly basis in the foreseeable future. All right. So I will be able to say, okay, in probably 2015, let us assume that our revenue is going to grow by 10%. Okay. So here it should be that the sales is year on year, YOY. YOY is year on year. And we are assuming it is 10% in year one. In year two, let's do 12%. Then year three, we can also have another 12%. Year four, we can have 8%. And year five, we can have 7%. Okay. So this is using a year-on-year approach. So here for the sales, in order to model the sales, I would say my sales here is equal to what I have in the previous year, my 25 million, times 1 plus the growth, year-on-year growth. So this gives 25 million. Don't complete this year-on-year growth. So this is just for people who are not really finance books. Year-on-year growth. If it was just, you're talking to finance, if you put just YOY, you understand year-on-year growth. Okay. Okay, Kudus is saying I thought year on year should increase over time. Yes, it is increasing. Only that it's decreasing at a diminishing rate by the time we go to 2018. It's 2018 is increased by 8%. Only that is not increasing at an increasing rate because the law of diminishing return, right? We cannot assume that it will be increasing forever. It should not keep increasing forever. To get to a particular point, by 2017, we already reached a point of saturation where our growth will be increasing at a diminishing rate. Somebody asked, why are we adding 1? Okay. So, if you want to grow something by a particular rate, what you would have done is equal to 25,000 times into bracket, plus into brackets 10%. Sorry. 10% times 25,000 or 25 million rather. So 25,000 that we had in 2014 plus the growth. The growth is 10% times 25,000. It's the same number. But I'm just writing my formula in a more simplified way to say, using factorization when we're in school is equal to 25,000 times the growth times into brackets 1, which is 25,000 times 1 plus the rate here, which will be 25 million times 10%. So it's the same formula, only that we are writing it in a more simplistic form. Which file is that? Moreno, which file? We sent this file that we are working on to the group. Okay, so whatever formula that I wrote in for 2015, I should be able to copy that formula right. Remember how to drag your formula right, like this. When you put your cursor at the edge of that square, you drag your formula right. Expanding. So in 2016, we are growing 2015 revenue or sales by 12%. In 2017, we are growing it. So person that asked why the year wait, why if it's going to increase? Yes, you can see that in 2018, 2019. 2019 increased over 2018. It's just that the rate at which it's increased is lower than what we started with. So by 2019, we are forecasting that we'll have a revenue of 39 million. Whether or not this value is practicable now depends on the owners of the business and the markets that we're operating in. All right. Any other question as we move on? Should we move on?
We are good. We are good. Move on.
Okay. So for our direct costs, how should we model the direct cost? Any ideas? We can model our direct cost as a percentage of sales because it's directly related to sales, right? So that will be the unit to be percentage of sales. So let's assume Tijani gave us 15%. So 15%, let's assume 15% for the period. So our direct cost will be equal to 15% times the sales. Okay, somebody said 35% of sales, okay? I think that might be more practicable. 15% or 35%. So the numbers that you use, whether you want to use 15% or 35%, it now depends on the type of business or industry that you are operating with. Let's assume 35%, right? So you can see that the moment when I want to change my assumption from 15% to 35%, I only need to come to the assumptions sheet or area to change it to 35%. I don't need to tamper with my formulas here on the income statement. It is the assumptions that will tamper with, not the income statement or direct cost of the income statement itself. Okay, so direct cost should be in negative, so I will include a minus before my formula. So it is minus 35% times my sales. I'm going to copy that right. So for my gross profit, I can easily say equal to the sum of these two, or equal to 27 million plus. So the reason why I'm using a plus, a lot of people might find it strange that why are you using a plus? Because my direct cost is rising in negative. So I can use a plus sign comfortably to be 27.5 million plus minus 9625. Okay. So let's copy that right. What about for operating expenses? How should we model our operating expenses? So we should model operating expenses as percentage of sales too. Okay. You can set 15% of sales. But bear it in mind that whatever value that you are putting in, whether 15%, whether 10%, you have to have a reason for that. So that can come from industry research. You can do comparable companies. What are other companies that are listed on the stock exchange? What are they doing? Compare it to what the company that you are modeling. Abubakar said it should be a percentage of gross profit. Why gross profit? So does it mean that if we don't have profits during the year, we are not going to pay salaries or electricity or marketing advertisement if we don't make profits from direct cost? We'll still pay all of those things. So that's why we cannot tie it to gross profit. Tijani is saying, I guess the increment should be capitalized on the previous year figure. Yeah, that's what we did in 2016. Is a percentage 12% of 2015 of the previous year. Worker said because gross profit is the money at hand, but so some of these costs are fixed. So whether or not you make business, you're still going to pay your NEPA bill. Whether or not you make profit, you're still going to pay your salaries. I mean, imagine if you're in a company and they are telling you that, oh, sorry, we cannot pay your profit, we cannot pay your salary this month because we did not make profit. We did not make gross profit. It will make sense to you because you'll be like, it's not my business. Like, so operating expenses are usually fixed in nature. You pay them regardless of whether you make profit or not. So that's why you cannot tie it to your gross profit. hope I've answered your question, Abubakar. So Tijani said that the should be direct cost, another expense should be tied to. Let me see. I'm not sure I understand your question, Tijani. Okay, auditor, you're saying emphasis on direct cost. The production should be on 2014 direct cost. Okay, you want it to be a year-on-year growth. Why is that? I mean, if I made a revenue of 5 billion last year because business was good or I was able to get a contract and the direct cost on that business is say 20% or 35% of the revenue. This year, if I don't make that kind of business, I was not able to get that contract. Doesn't mean that I'm still going to be incurring direct costs based on 2014 figures. I don't think so. So I don't see why I want to tie it. Except you have a very steady business and you are sure that based on historical or industry standard, what everybody is using is year on year. Oh, I hope I'm able to answer your question, auditor. Any other comments, question? Please feel free to ask.
Yes, ma'am. The argument was that instead of we getting the 9 million as our direct cost for 2015, why not capitalize it on the exact figure we got for 2014, which is 15 million? So 35% of that 15 million is what we should use for 2015, and we go it like that.
Okay, so what I'm now saying is that assuming that in 2014, the kind of business that we had is because of the contract. So what if we are not able to get that contract in this year? So let me give you a typical example. We had 25 million in 2014. Imagine if we are saying that okay, the 25 million we got was because we got the government contract to supply them foodstuff. But in 2015, we are going to have only about 2% growth. Or yes, or even some business might tell you that what happened there was just a one-time thing, right? And because of that, we are going to forecast that we have a negative growth, say minus 10%, and the revenue we are going to have is 22 million, not 25 million. If we tie our formula to the direct cost of the previous year, what we are going to be saying is that the direct cost of the business will still be 15 million times 1 plus 35%, right? So because we had a very good business last year, we are going to spend as much direct costs. I don't think that's practicable. So one not saying that, but there are some businesses that, of course, are model businesses where your cost of sales will be a growth on the direct cost, but that is only when you can defend it. All right. If not, most investors will not agree with you that your direct cost should be a year-on-year growth. I hope I was able to answer your question. All right. Okay, so yeah, if we don't think that direct cost should reduce, you can always increase our, because if you look at the percentage of direct costs on sales of last year, it was 60%. So what it's saying is that our direct cost this year is probably too low. So we might go with 60, 64 or 62%. accounting for inflation. All right. If that answers your question. Yeah. So operating expenses of last year was 5 million divided by 25 million. That's about 0.2%. So this year we can do 25% going forward. Yes, of course, Abdul Hakim, I agree with you. But if a business is telling you that they are going to reduce their direct costs, you have to see in place mechanisms or policies that they have put in place in order to reduce costs. So with that, you're able to justify why your direct costs will reduce over time. All right. But if they don't have any of that such mechanism, you might want to include inflation to say, even things are getting expensive by the day, so our direct cost might increase with inflation. Okay. Operating expenses should be equal to 25% times equal to 25% times our sales. How did I get 25%? Is that your question? 02420. Is assumption, we assume that operating expenses will be 25% because last year was 20%. It's assumption. So for financial model, it is heavily built around assumption. Two people can build the same a model for the same business and have different numbers. Okay, so this is 0.2, 20%, not 0.2%. So, and which is, yeah, thank you. OPEX will be negative. Okay. Was 20%? No. We only calculated for last year was the percentage of OPEX on revenue. That's 5 million over 25 million. All right. We only calculated for 2014 to see, okay, since we have historicals for 2014, what did we do in 2014 and compare it to what we agreed to do. So our profit before tax will be equal to the sum of these two. What about taxation? Taxation will be how are we going to model tax? Tax is on PBT, right? So let's assume that company income tax is saying 30%. On PBT. Yeah, thank you. That's what company income tax is, which is equal to 30% times our PBT. So for tax, tax can get more complicated than this because there are different industries that have different tax computation. There are sometimes that you will need a separate sheet for taxation, especially when you are building a model for the petroleum industry. A business that is operating in the petroleum industry, you will need different sheets to calculate tax because theirs is more specialized than other company income tax that you have. Well, could you say if statement for tax? Okay, yeah. So what you're saying, like if it is negative, yeah. If we want to put in that complication, yeah. Deferred tax, yeah. So there are some businesses that also need you to do deferred tax. You might need to put in that, especially where the business is saying that I'm not going to be paying 100% of my tax in my business. I would only pay a particular percentage and then defer it to the next period. Yes. You may also have that type of complication. But by the time we are into the financial modeling class properly, we'll be able to address all those complications using your if statements and other formulas that you need or Excel functions. So our tax should be negative minus okay, profit for the year. So we have 2.5 million profit for the year. What about our retained earnings brought forward? You know, retained earnings brought forward is retained earnings that was carried forward of last year. So I can do this, and this is definitely not a secular reference because it's for the previous year, and it's not going to be linked. So my retained earnings carried forward, assuming that I'm not paying out dividend, we are still retaining all our business, all our profit loss. So the carry forward is brought forward from previous year plus profit of this year, and I can do that right. So at the end of year 2019, I can say, okay, this is 20 million in retained earnings that we would have had in our business. Operating expenses is a percentage of revenue. All right. Tax is a percentage of PBT. Do we have any questions so far? Any question? Any comments? Retained earnings is not clear. So what we are saying is that assuming that for any profit we have, we are reinvesting 100% of that profit into our business. You know, profit for the year is the profit we've made during the year from our business, right? And what we have here is 2045 million. So assuming that we are not paying dividends at all, what would retain into our business is our profits, right? So that's what we would put in as our retained earnings carry forward. We are not deducting, we are not sharing any dividends to anybody. So our retained earnings brought forward will be our retained earnings carried forward, right? And what we now have for the year will be the sum of the profits plus the retained earnings brought forward. But if in a situation where we want to pay dividend, you don't need to write this, I'm not including it. And we want to pay dividend of so dividend is money that is shared to the owners of the business. I mean, if we are sharing dividend of say 40% to business owners, so we are going to be paying 0.4 times our profit after tax. Because it's an outflow to be in minus. So our retained earnings for the year will be equal to the sum of this plus this. So, and our retained earnings carried forward is your accounting. And let me also say that if you want to build a financial model, the knowledge of accounting is key. Whether you are going to read up online or read some books or go for a professional certification, the knowledge of accounting is key because that is it's the background of financial model. And I don't know if there's any other way to put it. So operating expenses is 25% of this figure. I hope I've answered your question for retained earnings. But like I said, we are not putting in that complication yet. See, really different. Okay, any other question before we move forward? And should we go on break? I think it's already level 52. We can go on 10 minutes break. Please try to do this do your financial model for this income statement before we are back because we are going one step forward for a bit of more complication. So, all right, I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Okay. So has anybody completed this? Are we all on the same page now? So I'm assuming that even we're all on the same page, everyone. So now let's go to formatting. So I'm not sure, is everybody on the same page? Can we move on?
Yes, you can.
Now, I need feedback so that I know that we are all moving together. I'm not leaving anyone behind. Okay. So retain earnings for brought forward is equal to retain earnings of last year. That is how it works. So the retain earnings that you bring forward to this year is retain earnings that you had last year, which is your retain earnings carried forward last year. So if you add that brought forward to what we have this year, your total balance that you have is the retain earnings carried forward, and you are carried forward to next year. That will now be your brought forward this in 2016. Your carry forward is 2016 brought forward plus the profits for the year. So that's how it works. Okay, so now let's go to formatting. I want us to format this in thousands. So this is in absolute numbers, 25 million, 27.5 million, but all those extra zeros, I'm not sure that we need it. In accounts, you usually put your numbers in millions or in thousands, all right? One general mistake that a lot of people make is to probably come here and divide it by 1,000, or come into your formula and then say divided by 1,000. I see this a lot of time. When they do this, so everything is not in thousand, then they come here. Please don't do that. This is hard coding, and like I said, it is a grievous thing in financial modeling. Don't come here and put in your hard coding. So we can format this to show in thousand. Remember our control one from yesterday, format cells. You can also come to your home tab and click on this arrow, format cells. Then click on number. All right. So let's start from general. We'll get there. Don't worry. Everything that is on this sheet, we will do it. Best case, worst case, we will get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. All right. So for formatting, so if under numbers, you would see category, have general, number, currency, accounting, dates, and so on and so forth. So let's do it one by one. So for general, if I click on general, the general format will just give you the So for general formatting, it should just give you your numbers the way it is typed. I hope everyone can hear me. Okay. So if you click on general and click on OK, your 25,000 doesn't have that comma separator anymore because it is giving you what you put in, right? And for number you're able to select how many decimal places you want. So it gives you that option. Step forward. You say, I'll give you what you have in your general, which you can specify the number of decimal places you want, whether it is 1 decimal place or 2 decimal place. You see the sample here, show you that if you click on one, it will give you this is what the sample of what will be shown to you. All right. The 1,000 separator is that comma. You know, if I click on OK here and I have 25 million without the 1,000 separator. It's not all, you know, like here you have 27 million, 500, 000. That comma that you see there is a 1,000 separator. That is what it is called. So if I click on the 1,000 separator, you can see the sample here that I already have the comma separating 25, 000, comma 000. All right. And you can also allow it to show negative numbers with a minus or in red or in brackets or in red plus brackets. So you have that options of choosing any of this. Are we together? Okay, so if I click on this 15 million and select number, and I click on minus 1, 2, 3, 4, it will show minus 15 million because I selected 1,000 separator here. And I click OK. You can see that it's no longer 15 million in brackets, it is minus 15 million. If I click on red, sorry, now take this out. So if I click on the red, 1, 2, 3, 4 in red, it will show me 15 million in red font. You can see, although it is minus, it is not showing that minus, and it is showing 15 million in red font. If I click on the third one, this one will be 15 million in brackets, showing that this number is in negative. Accountant likes to use brackets instead of minus, so it shows me this. All right, so that is how this works. So for currency allows you to put in a symbol. Remember, was it last week somebody was asking how do we insert a symbol that if you click on currency here to show. So this is where to set it. Put in the symbol and you're able to select naira. Probably scroll down. Naira, you can choose any of this naira here. Doesn't matter. I mean, naira in Edo, we are on Nigeria, Fulani, outside, Igbo, it's the same naira. Okay. And then, yeah. If I click on OK, you can see like to show 50 million in naira. And on my own tab there, you see that it is in currency. So if I come here and just click currency, yeah, so it's showing dollars. I can go to my control 1 to set it. So currency. Okay. So that's how I'm putting you through all the formatting that we have, the format examples under number category. All right. So for dates, yeah, it allows you to show dates, to show your numbers in dates, but it might not be applicable here. In Excel by default, Excel counts from 1st of January 1900 till today to know the date that we are in. So 1st of January 1900 is the one as far as Excel is concerned. So if I put in 1, you can format it to date and it will show you 1st of January 1900. This is it, 1st of January 1900. So in essence, every date that you type in Excel is actually a number. Excel only format it to appear like a day. So the number is the number of days that has passed from 1st of January 1900. So if I put in 8, this will be 8th of January 1900. But if I put in 430, 430 is this is March 5, 1901. Let's put in long date here. March 5, 1901. If I put in 700, let's see. So what is today as a number? Today's date. Today is Sunday, April April 5. But if I put format it as a number, it's telling me that 46,926 days has passed from 1st of January 1900. Any question at this point? Any question, everybody? Do you understand?
Please, doesn't it start
Please, I
counting
need your
from
participation.
900 years? Oh.
What did you say? Hello? I didn't get that. Please, can you say that again? So Wanilia, you're asking how do we calculate retained earnings brought forward? Retained earnings brought forward is equal to the retained earnings carried forward of last year. So this is equals to last year's retained earnings carried forward. Okay. So everybody, is it clear the formatting? So should I assume everybody is clear? Should I go on? So let's go back to, so we've done for accounting. For accounting is also similar to number. You know, you can always select your symbol and then your currency. It's almost like a combination of the number and currency. So for time, it's also similar to date. You can always, when we did it now last week, equal to now open bracket, close bracket. You know, you can always select time. So time would also include fraction of days, like a decimal point. All right. Percentage, I'm very sure that we are all familiar with showing percentage and the number of decimal places. The same too with fraction, halves, 8, 16, and so on and so forth. Scientific, remember that if you type in a very large number, then gives you 2 this exponential this. We usually don't use a lot of this in finance, but I mean, for the sake of explaining it, this is how it works. You can increase the decimals here if you want. For text, so text just treats it like general. I mean, as if you just put in the text that is there. So it is treated as text even when the number is in the cell. The cell is displayed exactly as you entered it. All right. Special for zip code, phone number, security number, etc. You can also put in the location. Location will determine how it is formatted. All right. And then the custom. This is the most important part of the aspect. What is asking, please, what date do you start counting from to present? Is 1st of January 1900. Start counting from 1st of January 1900. So for custom, you are able to format it to your own preference. At this point, if you are doing anything that will probably distract you, I need your attention, 100% of it, because this is very important. So for under the custom, you're able to put in your own customized formatting. Yeah, Excel has already built in some of the general number formats that was here that we've explained. Excel is putting it here, and then one step forward. But I'll take time to explain as many as them as possible. So like general, we explain how general works. For 02 is very similar to text, right? To give you just exactly what you have typed in. This 0.00 gives you the text with 2 decimal place. I mean, garbage in, garbage out with 2 decimal place. Then this hash comma hash at 0. Ladies and gentlemen, I need your attention at this point. Let me start with, remember the comma separator, the one that puts a comma in your thousand. So before we do the hash comma hash at 0, I would put in 0 comma 000. Please, I need your attention here. 0 comma 000. What I'm putting here is that give me what the text as it is with a 1,000 separator. So if I click on OK, it gives me 50 million. That's minus 15,000. All right. But assuming that what I have here is just one single digit, and I put in 9 as a digit, look at what it's going to return. 0,000 0,009. That is how 0,000 works. Although what I typed in is 9, but because I selected my formatting as 0,000, it will return 0,009. Class, are we together? So if I put in on 129 and I select that formatting of 0, 0,000, it gives me 0,129. But you know that if I am writing a number, I would definitely not write 0,129. It doesn't make sense to me because it's just 129. So in order to solve that problem of saying 0,129 doesn't make sense, that's why Excel has introduced to us the hashtag. That's why we'll use hash comma hash as z. This hash comma hash as z will say if there is a number, there is no 0,000, don't put anything there. So instead of you saying 0,129, just leave it empty. That is why the hash is there. As hash comma hash as they're saying, only give me a number here when there is actually a number there. So if there is no number there, don't give me. So this is the first 1,000. So if this is 1,000, return 1. But if it is not 1 and it's 0, just leave it empty. That is what the hash comma hash as 0 is doing. So I click on hash comma hash as 0 and I click on OK. You see, it returns 129. If it was hash comma hash 00, it will still give me 129 because what I said here is that the first 1,000 is 0,000, so it's not giving me anything. The 0, if there is a 0 there, because there's a 1 in our own, it is giving me something. 2 is returning 2 and 9 is returning 9. But the moment I put in hash comma 000 and my number here is a 2-digit number, say 29, it will give me 029 because I did not put in the placeholder for the 100. So I will put in hash. If I put in hash there, it will return 29 and not 029. Are we together at this point? Okay. So that is how this hash comma hash as 0 works. The second one is hash comma hash as 0.00. So that is with 2 decimal places. And now we come to this one. This one is a bit tricky, not really tricky, but if you listen, you understand it. So in this hash comma hash as 0, which we are familiar with, what we are not familiar with is the underscore. All right, and what we are not also familiar with is the semicolon. So let me delete all of this. Let me delete the brackets, the underscore. The difference between this hash comma hash as 0 that we are familiar with and then we have a semicolon and another hash comma hash as 0 in brackets. The difference between the two is that what I'm saying is that the first one, this hash comma hash as 0, is how you should represent a positive numbers. The semicolon is what separates positive numbers from negative numbers. Then what is a hash bracket hash comma hash as 0 should not be how you represent a negative number. So the semicolon is what is separating how you represent the positive number from the negative number. So this between before the semicolon is for positive number, after the semicolon is for the negative number. Are we together? Okay. Please, if you don't understand this at this point, please let me know. Everybody, Olainka, Mohammed, please, you guys understand. Abdul Malik, then there is Ola. Ola is raising up your hand. Please ask your question, Ola. Abdul Hakim, Abdul Wahab, please, do you understand? Auditor, Ahmed, Idris, Phoenix Matu, Khadija, Kazim. Please, you guys understand? Okay, so I move on. So if I select, I'm removing the underscore and the bracket, and I click on this, okay. So if I put in 4,000 minus 4,000, it returns minus 4,000 in bracket, because this is how I said you should format negative numbers. Negative numbers should be in brackets. If I put in a positive number of 4,000, it comes at 4,000. The comma separator and without the jack, because I said don't format negative numbers, don't format positive numbers with brackets. It should just go without the brackets, okay? Then for so if I have, let me copy this down, the same formatting. I have 4,000 here, and I have minus 4,000. Did you notice that it is not aligned? The numbers are the same, it's still the same, minus 4,000. But because of, so this 4,000 is going to the right hand side, to the last edge of 4,000, and this minus 4,000 is not aligned properly because the bracket is just under 0 of the 4,000 on top. So for alignment purpose, if I have, for accountant like their numbers to be aligned, whether there is a bracket or not, everything should be aligned and symmetric. So in order to solve this problem of alignment, what I will do is, before my 0 of positive numbers, I know that the negative number, I can't do anything because there has to be a bracket for negative number. So for the positive number, I will say put in a space before you hit the edge of the cell. Put in a space, put in a space. That space is the underscore. The size of what? How large do you want that space to be? I'll now say the size of a closing bracket, because I know that the difference between these two numbers is because of the bracket. Is why it is not aligned properly. I'll now say put an underscore the size of a bracket. So that is why it is hash, comma, hash has 0, underscore, and bracket. If I click on OK, we see that the positive number automatically aligns with negative number and leaves a space, which is the same space that is equal to the size of a bracket. Do you understand? Okay. So that is how the hash, comma, hash has 0, underscore, brackets. I'm sure we've done this one. So let's move to the other one. We are familiar with this first one, with a positive number with the alignment problem solved. So this is not saying, I said after the semicolon, the remaining one should be formatted how you want your negative numbers to appear. Remember that when we're doing number, there were some negative numbers that were appearing in red. So this is where I can specify the color for the format. So I'm saying that for my negative number, format color it red, make the font red. That's why you have this red in square bracket. So you can put red. If you click on red and click OK, so that my negative number here is formatted in red. If I click, say my negative number should be formatted in blue, I can just come in and change this red to blue. And click on OK. My battery is on. So my negative number is no longer formatted in red, but in blue. All right, I know they can use blue, you can change it to green, yellow. But for ladies that like turquoise color or turquoise purple, cockroach brown, you don't have all those type of colors there. So you can use blue, green, red, black, and there's no pepper green, there's no pepper red, tomato, onion, purple. You can't use all those type of color, but for the basic colors, you can use them. All right. Okay. So for the next one, okay. Let me get my charger. Okay, so I'm with you. What was your ask question? Hello, someone was trying to ask a question. Okay, so we can move on. Please ask your question if you have any question. The other one is with our hash commercial zero with 2 decimal space, with 2 decimal space, and then the space before alignment. All right. The next one is the one in red with 2 decimal place, and this one is with the currency. So I can change this and put in a currency, whatever currency that I want. If I've copied it from my symbol, which I know we did. So with currency, this is percentage. Percentage is 2 decimal place, our exponential, all these hash command. No, we don't need that. Then the date formatting, all right, date. This one will show you the month, the day, and the year. This will show you the month dash the days and the month and the year. So the date, which is 13, will show an acronym, maybe like January, JAN, February, FEB, with YY, the last 2 figures in the year. So that you have 13 DEC 10. This is showing 13th of December 2010. For DMMM is the date plus the acronym without the year. So you have all of these. Then this for hour, for time, hour and the minutes, showing whether it is in the morning or in the afternoon, and so on. All right. So all of this is just a combination of, and then, okay, let me explain this one. So this one is just showing your format, your positive numbers, your negative numbers, and this one is saying that before you start, put a alignment before the first number, the size of a opening bracket with the currency, right? And then the formatting that we've done, hash commercial 0 with 2 decimal place. Before you hit the right alignment again, put another space with the size of a closing bracket. Therefore, negative number, do the same, but in brackets. And this is for special character, all right? and all of the special characters. That's all. So any other question? So now I think that I've been able to show you how to format. So yeah, I think there's just one more thing. So one more thing is I'll go back to the basic formatting here. So what if I want to show my numbers in thousands? So after my zero for the positive number, before that underscore, if I put a comma there, it will show my numbers in thousands. The same thing I'll do for the negative numbers to show in thousands. If I click on OK, my 4,000 is now showing as 4. So this is 4 and minus 4,000. But it's actually 4,000, only that is appearing as if it is in thousands, but it is 4,000. But it's appearing as if it is just 4, but it's actually 4,000. So I can come here and say, okay, these numbers are in thousands, and it's safe to say this is 4,000 and this is minus 4,000. If I want to show it in millions, what I'll do is I'll add another comma. That's 2 comma, 1 comma for 1,000, 2 comma for million, and 3 commas for billions, right? I'll put in a second comma. Same thing for negative numbers, put in a second comma and click on OK. So here it's showing me if I increase decimal. Right, this is 0.004. If I put in 4 billion here and 4 billion here too. So this is showing as 4,000, but because I'm formatted it to be in millions, this is 4,000 in millions. The same thing here, 4,000 in millions. All right, this is 4,000, 4,000. So we're putting in minus 4 billion. So this is minus 4,000 in millions. All right. And also I can format this to not show anything. I'll just put in double quotes and click on OK. All right, so is this showing? This is showing as if there is nothing there, right? And this one is still showing the minus because of the negative number. So I can come in here to say for both my positive numbers and negative number, double quotes, semicolon, double quotes. All right, and click on OK. You can see that even the one that is formatted in that minus that is negative is also not showing anything. But these numbers here, there are numbers there, only that it is not showing because I have formatted it to show that as if to appear like there is nothing there. Any question at this point? Okay, so if you don't have any question, I think it is safe to say that you can format this income statements in thousands. So that's formats in thousands, and then the dates. Show the date in to show as December, say December 15. I want the date in this format, December 15. So this is the format of the date I want. Please don't type what I typed. I want it to be actually so that we can only change the format, all right? And then the second class work assignment that you should format this income statement in millions, in thousands, right? Format income statement in thousands. This is the tool. I'll probably give you about 5 minutes to do this. At 12:49. So hi guys, are you through with the exercise? This is 12:49. We are back from our so online. Have you done the assignment? Somebody should show us how you did your own exercise. Enka, please can you volunteer? Or Kudus and Ifowoshe, can you volunteer? Someone should volunteer for the exercise. All right. Okay, so let's go to our scenarios. So under the on row 70, you see we have best case, best case, and worst case. So these are scenarios to say, okay, if you are forecasting, you want to have different scenarios to say, okay, what if in a best case we are saying that our business will grow by 10%, but what if we have a better scenario, a better case where things are better than what we have researched for? We should also model it to say if things are going on very well in the economy, what would be our assumption? And what if things are even worse than what we anticipated for? What would be our sales? Just so that you put all of those assumptions into your model to say, in the worst case scenario, this is what this profit would be. In the best case scenario, this is what profits would be. And these are what MDs, executives, investors, what they want to see that, okay, what if in the worst case scenario, is this business going to generate the kind of profit that we are investigating? That's why you want to build these scenarios into your model. All right. So yeah, I'll put in the base case to be 10%, just like this. But for the best case, let me assume that in the first year, 15% in the second year, 15% in the 17% in the third year, and then for fourth year we are doing 10%, and then for fifth year, in fact, for year 2018 we can still do about say 15%, and then for this year we can do 10%. All right. And in the worst case scenario, I would say a worst case scenario here, first year I can do 7%, but second year I can do 8%. Third year we might even do something lower than that, say 5%. Fourth year, 3%, 2%. And also, by the time, if you are making all these assumptions for these scenarios, you want to make sure that you have industry knowledge so that you're not just assuming numbers, all right? And then the assumptions to year-on-year growth, year-on-year. So, for my assumption here that we have linked to the income statement, it will no longer be this hard coding. I want it to be able to choose between best case, and worst case, based on me choosing between best case, and worst case. So this is one of the advantages of knowing your index match. So I use index match to solve this. Equal to index, this 3, comma. So what is the position should be? So I need a control for my index, right? The row number column, remember it from, I think, yesterday. So I can choose this cell to be my control cell. So I'm choosing K1, and then I launch K1. Function, my F4. So my K1, if I put in 1 here, is why it's not invalid because there's nothing in K1. If I put in 1 in K1, so this is choosing from this array, from my scenario array, based on the first position. So if I copy that right, Control R, everything is choosing the base case because what I have here is 1. If I change it, is now choosing best case because my control is on 2. If I change it to 3, it is now choosing worst case because my control is on 3. Are we together, everyone? Any question? I know we did this index match. We did it last week, and then we did it yesterday again. Because this might look too manual for me to always change this to 1, 2, or 3. What I would do is I can put in a little bit of customized design. So I'll go to my developer tab, click on insert. Remember that we've been doing the first button, that button control. I'll click on the combo box here. I use it to draw a combo box. So I have my combo box here. If I right click on this combo box I have just drawn, and I click on format control. So I'm trying to link this combo box I've just drawn to this control here. So the input pages, the drop down it should be best case, worst case, right? And then the cell link is on K3, K1 rather. So cell link is on K1, I click on it, change the drop down lines. The drop down lines here by default is showing 8. But I click on OK. Yeah, everything is showing value because I've not selected the scenario I want. And you can see here that because I've linked this to here, this is showing 0. So if I drop down and click on base case, it will show 1. And my sales is on base case, right? If I click on best case, it's showing 2 here, and my sales is on 12%, showing the best case. We see here my sales is doing 1 plus 12%. So this is my sales on the best case. My sales on the worst case is 26,750. But on the best case is 27 million. On the best case, I have 28 million revenue. On the worst case, I have 26 million revenue. So I'm doing it all over again. I've assigned my K1 here to be my control cell. So here to index these 3 alternatives that I have, comma, the control, which is my K3, because this is what is showing position. Remember our index, the index of the array composite. So the position here is 3, which is K1. So K1, if I copy this right, so here I have to lock K1, function F4 or F4 depending on your, and you can manually put the $sign there. So because this is on 3, it is showing the third one, worst case. If I change this to 2, it will show best case. My sales is showing 12%. If I change it to 1, it is showing 10% because the base case is 10%. So once again, instead of doing this manually, let's go one step further. So insert a combo box. Combo box is the second one. Click on combo box. This is to draw your combo box. Right click on your combo box, click on format control. My input range is what do I want the drop down to be showing. I know that the options I have is best case, worst case, and the cell link is on K1. The drop down line is 3 because I only have 3 options. If I have 2, I'll make the drop down lines to be 2. If I have 4, I'll make it 4. If I have 10, I'll make it 10. All right, but it is just best case, and worst case I have. So those are 3 scenarios, and I'll click on OK. So this is returning value and error because it is linked to this combo box. I just have to change this combo box to base case, and then this is showing 1. And my base, I can always control this using base case, using the combo box. Base case, best case, and worst case, and the model is changing. My sales is changing. So this is my sales on the worst case scenario. This is my sales on the base case scenario, and on the best case scenario, my sales is 20. My sales is 28 million. So for my cost, base case for cost can be is still the same 62. But for best case, if in the best case scenario for cost, it should be lower because if these are good, my cost will be lower. So I can do say 55%.
Grandma. My teacher. I watch a cartoon.
So the index is index this array 1, 2, 3, comma. So Control R, paste it. Okay. I didn't lock my K1. So the same thing for OPEX, right? So the best case for OPEX should be 20% OPEX.
Would you get one?
Just go on mute if you are not talking. Go off your video if you are not talking. Worst case, 50%. So index these three array comma K2. So always lock your K1.
Cut. Wá fẹ́ ṣe ẹ̀wà wájú kó fọ́ dáadáa ẹ̀wà yóò fọ́ tó da ẹjọ́ tó gbọ́ wàá rí pẹ́wà yẹn ti fọ́ owó orí kò tẹ̀ fọ́ lójú náà rush ni ó ti ẹ̀rọ àwọn tètè jiná báyìí wàá fi lára balẹ̀ ó soft lọ́dà sórí iná padà kó bómi tó àbú máa fẹ́ jẹun sí báyìí láyọ̀ tó ń ṣe yẹn lọ́dà sórí iná náà àkúdá àti Pfizer ló dín yẹn ó bá mi bomi díẹ̀ sí kó tiẹ̀ kò fọ́ rárá kó tó bá ti fẹ́ ṣe ẹni ti já pè mí bá ti fẹ́ ṣe kò jiná. Yes.
And the worst case, okay, worst case here is 42. Yeah, you can do 35%. Worst case, 35% of tax and copyright. So here we can do equal to index. That's our scenario.
Huh? The water.
Comma.
Guys, I want to make another water for me, please. No. Then eh? I should do what? Come out. No, that was bad English. Who taught you that? Hey, check me. You got it. I don't want to hear come out. Do you hear me? Guys, when I finished my class, you ready? You got it.
To the right. So now that we have linked all of the assumptions,
How ló ṣe ṣe
we've
gan?
done it. So now you can come here and then change it to base case. Your model has now changed to base case just by changing what at a click of a button. Best case, everything is on best case. Worst, this is the worst case scenario.
No, they do. The room no put that. Two weekends they come.
The worst case scenario, we have very much. We have 7
Financial model in Leo. I lie. Only will more anything. Only will more financial model more anything. Boy, change your class with fresh. There's one that room on me looking by this.
Previous videos. The absence can always check previous the videos to check what we did in the class. Please. We've done this developer thing time.
The host, can we please mute this?
Daddy, this is that one. This is this one. This one. I like that one.
I gotta send the video. Let me to our lost. Huh? Video.
No. That is not Peter. That is not Peter.
I don't know why.
That is not Peter.
I go and meet your dad.
Hello, can you hear me?
I shall meet your dad.
Can I go ahead? Hello.
Yeah, you can go ahead, meeting.
Okay. Before the index and match, a percentage is actually assigned as a year-to-year growth on sales, and at the same time year-to-year growth on base case, best case, and worst case scenario. But instead of us changing this percentage ourselves, what we need to do is that we're going to create an index. What the index is simply saying is that you have a map. Let me do the first example on the sales. You do is equals to index. The index you type here, your map is now starting from the next cell, which is F17 down to F19. We have three case scenario: the best case, the base case, the best case, and the worst case scenario. But before we can actually pick which among these are we picking, are we picking the base case, are we picking the best case, or the worst case scenario? The best case is one, which you can easily set on your K column, then you can fix it. By fixing it, you press your F4, then you close it. So on this case, once you have one, you're on the best case, or you're on the base case. If you change it to 2 now, automatically it changes to the best case. And you see all your financial reporting changing automatically. The same thing that we've done for 2015, you do same for 2016, 17, 18, and 19. So how do you do that? You can easily just drag from your column F, from your sheet F to 2019. So you can see by the time you click on 2016, you see that the index and match is there, and you still have your K also being highlighted. By the time we change this one to 3 now, which is the worst case scenario, you will see that everything will change automatically. Even for the profits before tax, you can see that there is nothing, there is no profit, and at the same time, you won't be able to calculate any tax on that. So the same thing you've done for sales, you will now do the same thing for cost of sales also. You do your index, you pick the best case scenario, the base, the best, and the worst case scenario. Then you put your K1 to see if it's the first one you're picking, the second one, or the third one. Then like that for OPEX and for taxation. So for you to now do to create a from, all you just need to do is to go to your. Can you hear me? You need to go to your developer tab. Once you click on your developer tab, you click on the insert button. When you click on the insert button, you click on the combo box. By the time you click on the combo box, you just bring it to your sheet. By drawing it, you have your combo box. Then you can now right click on your combo box to click on the format control. What do you want the button to be doing? By clicking on it, you have to choose your base in the input range. You know you have 3 range, which is the base range, the best range, the base case, the best case, and the worst case. All you need to do here is to click on the 3 of them by highlighting them, which I've done. After that, you click on your cell link. Cell link means you're changing from 1 to 2 to 3. Your base case is 1, your best case is 2, and your worst case is 3, which you've actually imputed on your K. on your K1. So you click on the K1. And at the same time, the drop down, we only have 3 case scenario. You change it to 3, then you press on your OK. By pressing on OK, automatically the K has changed to what? Is 0. Then by the time you change your K to 1, you see automatically it changes even in the box to best case. But you can easily drop down your button to see if you're to use best. You click on best. If you want to use the worst case, you click on the worst case. So that's all for now. Thank you. Can I stop sharing?
Yeah, thank you very much, Miriam. That was very informative and insightful. Thank you.
Yes.
So if you have any other question, please let us know. If not, we have come to the end of the class. And if you have any question, please feel free to send me an email.
Hello. 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 Can
And I will respond to your
hello?
question.
Can anybody hear
We
me?
can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. Well, my question before we round it up
Ola, we
is
can
that,
hear you.
yeah, my question before you round it up. Thanks for the work done so far, the training and all that. But my question is this: can the combo, by choosing either of the cases, can it affect all the elements of that
No,
income
baby.
statement?
No, baby.
Can you hear me?
What did you say? Say that again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, what I'm saying is this. For the combo box.
Okay.
Remove it, remove it.
Okay, if you change any of the case, the best or worst scenario from the combo box, can it affect all the elements of the income statement?
Yes.
Because I know there should be a link to do that.
Yes, there's a link to everything.
So can you show us that?
Yes, I
Hello?
already show you.
I can't hear you, Shana. I can't see it.
Huh?
Huh? I'm on base case.
Please, Ajia, that is kid is talking. Please, can you help us, please?
If you're not talking, please go on mute. So if you're on base case, right, our profit is 7.5 million. But the moment we are now on best case, you will see that our profit is now has jumped to 10.6 million. Every item on the income statement is now reflective of the best case because we have linked the sales, cost of sales, OPEX, taxation to the best case control. You can see everything is linked using your index. It is linked to K1 and it's K1 that is controlling this combo box. So once you change it, everything is changing. So your model is fully reflective of the scenario. So you can change it to worst case. It's just one combo box that's for everything. You don't need to create multiple combo boxes. I hope that answers your question.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
That can we hide the control cell? Of course, if you click on your combo box.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah. To further clarify the question earlier asked by Ola, does that mean that once a combo box is created for for sales, let's say on sales now, it affects other costs, OPEX, and other elements.
Yes, it does. Because we
Because
linked everything to look at the cost. Cost is linked to K1. The same K1 here that sales is linked to. Also, sales is also linked to K1. Your OPEX too is linked to K1. Everything is linked to the same control. So when you change from base case to best case, everything changes. In your best case, even your OPEX has changed. In best case, OPEX was 6.8 million. Best case, OPEX is now 5.6 million. The same thing for your tax. In your best case, tax is 1.072 million, and best case, tax is minus 1.4.
okay, thank you.
So everything is linked to, even OPEX is linked to the same K1. Taxation too is also linked to K1. So when you change your scenario, your combo box, everything is changing at the same time. I hope that answers the question. And then somebody is
Yes.
that, can we hide the can we hide K1?
Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Ola, we can hear you.
Control. And then
I
you
just
click
want to ask,
combo box. You
she
can move the
link
combo box.
how did she link the K1 to every other
You can
element of price?
formula is linking K1. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so if is there any other question? If you have any other question, please ask. Or else if maybe in the future, if you have any question, you can send me an email on jokosendme.saidat@gmail.com.
Please, how is it linked? Hello?
Happy to.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Please, I don't understand. How is the K1?
024820. Hello.
Hello?
I've explained that using the index formula, we've done that a number of times. Even when you did
Hello, Sister Saidat. Hello? Hello?
You can unmute to ask your question so that I can answer the question.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Mr. Aminu, can you hear me?
Wa alaikum salam, I can.
Okay, yeah. The question is just that can we like format the whole decision button? Like for the sales, we have a variable. For the PBT, for the OPEX, we have the decision variables upward. So if we are clicking the combo box for a best case scenario, can we format those decision lines to like a specific color so that if a decision maker is going through it, we will easily see the best case, like all the figures to it and all the percentages to it. That's it.
Please, can you come over your question again so that I can get it clearly?
Okay. Okay, would you please maybe share your screen and maybe I use it as an example?
Okay.
Yeah, as you can see, we have the best case scenario there.
Yeah.
Then we have best case scenario for all 4 variables that we are using. Our variables here are sales, costs,
okay,
OPEX. Do you get it? And PBT. Under our assumptions. Under the assumptions here.
Okay. Yeah, I now understand what you're asking.
Okay.
Yeah, what you're asking is that create. Okay. Okay, I now understand what you're saying. What you're trying to say now is that for each of the assumptions for sales, we have the best case, the base case, the base, the best, and the worst case. Therefore, cost also. If we are to do that, what we will likely do is that we can easily create a best case scenario. Let me give you an instance. Beside this best case scenario, I can easily say this is for sales. Then create another combo box also by going to my developer, insert, create another combo box. By clicking this, I format it. Then I can say my input range. Okay, before doing that, let me go back. Before doing that, the first thing we need to do is that under the index, are you with me? Under the index, you know what we use as our control base is the K1. If you actually want to do a button to represent each of the assumptions, all you need to do is to create this control for sales, create a control for costs, then the last one I think is okay, we have OPEX and taxation. You can also create a tab for OPEX, then taxation. Then at this point, what you likely do is, instead of you using the K1, under cost in your index, you can change this one to K2. And you can see that we're having value because we've not imputed 1, 2, or 3. You know, by the time I change it back to 1, it automatically change. If I change this one back to 2, you will see that it is only affecting the costs, but the sales is not affected. Then you can now create a box for this by saying a combo box, by saying go to your developer, come to your insert button, go to your combo box, draw a combo box. By the time you're drawing down your combo box, by the time you want to format the control, then your input range will now be from 21 down to 23. Then your cell link will not be K1 any longer, but K2. Then you change this one to 3. Then you press OK. By the time you change under this case scenario, by the time you change this one to best case, you will see that it is only working for the costs. Unlike the other one we did, we make our control to be K1 alone, which is working for everything. But right now, we've changed the control for costs to K2. Do you understand it?
I got it.
Yeah, thank you. Can I stop sharing my screen?
Hello, Muidin. Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. Please, can we have a recap on the process of returning millions to thousands? I actually missed that aspect.
The millions to thousand.
Yes, without having
I
to
missed it
be
also, but
entering
I
individual.
can. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. What she said is that if you have 4 million, 4E6, if you have 4 million in your box, let me use
Control 1, yeah.
change this one to accounting first. This is 4 million. Hello.
Okay. Yes, I'm with you. I can hear you.
Yeah. So for you to actually change this one to 4,000 instead of showing the whole 4 million, all you need to do is you press your Control 1. Then you go to your custom. Under your custom, the format you're using is this. The first one, hello.
Yes, can go ahead.
Yeah. Before your semicolon, you can add a comma. By the time you add a comma to it, you come to your what's it called, for the point also for the negative, you add a column, then you can press OK. Automatically, sorry, I missed something there. Control 1.
Hello, Midin.
Hold on. There is a button
I
I
guess
need
the
to
comma.
click.
No, I guess the comma should come immediately
I can hear
after the zero. Before the
I
underscore.
can hear you.
The comma should come immediately after the zero, before the underscore.
Okay, the comma should come before the underscore. Yeah, after the zero. Yeah, you're correct. I actually missed that, but I'm glad that I've actually tried it once before. Yeah, which I've done. Immediately after the zero, before you have your bracket close, instead of you, do you get that?
Is it the first bracket or the second bracket you are referring to?
Do you get that?
Can this idea just smooth? She's using it to distract others.
Hello, me.
No sharing phone.